Welcome back to Two Canadians at Kafe Lise, a Vigor podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Anton, and with me is the other host,
DJ Spencer.
And it's our New Year's episode 30. And we figured it's been a little over, a year and a half now, almost, year and a couple of months, I should say, not a year and a half, year and a couple of months since we started.
We just did the 1 year anniversary, Doc.
I know, we just said the 1 year anniversary is the last one. And, or was it the last one or one before?
Three goes 27.
Yeah,
was our
20.
1 year.
So it was just a few episodes ago.
Yep.
Yeah. But last year around this time, we did our Wishlist episode. So we thought this year we would come back to it. We would also do maybe a little quick look at the previous year. What was our favorite update or season to come out this year? And we're just gonna be doing a little bit of chatting. We'll go through our previous year's wish list. And I'll show you as we go each point that we talked about at last year, and I guess if we're any closer to seeing any of this than we were last year, since last year. And then we'll try to come up with maybe a new wish list for 2022. Truthfully, probably some of the stuff from the previous year's wish list are still going to be on my current wish list.
Well, I have a wish list.
You have a wish list? That's good. That's good. You thought about it probably more than I have, unfortunately. Which is good. At least some.
Yeah, I gave it a little bit of thought, but not too much.
Yeah, perfect. But yeah, so if we're looking back at this last year, there were four seasons that came out. When we recorded the last wish list, it was right near the end of season 6, so it was on update 6.1 at the time. But since then, there was 4 seasons. There was season 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then as we're recording this, we're in the middle of the 10.1 update. It came out a couple weeks ago, just before Christmas. It brought in Santa and some new changes.
I know him.
We know him. Santa. So yeah, so we're sort of the same situation. We're right in the middle of an update right now, and so there'll be a new season coming in the next month or so. All depending on if things stay on schedule, right? But yeah, so we've had 4 seasons. We've had a ton of changes. There's been new weapons. There's been new additions to the game. There's been lore added to the game. There's been updates to existing game modes, and even a partial map. We got a new shootout map, which is a prelude to a new full map that's going to be coming soon. Ish.
Yeah.
I'm
most likely season 11.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Chronicles something, right? Because they got rid of seasons, right? So
yeah, I know we're well, and it's funny, they got rid of seasons, but then it was still the 10.1 update.
Yeah. Well, right? you have to name it something, right? So
you have to name it something. Well, it was because it was Chronicles Vengeance was the season after season 9. And then they made it 10.1. They could have just said I guess Vengeance. I don't know how would you go on past that? Yeah.
No, the 10.1 works. Yeah. No, the 10.1 works because essentially it's all bugs fixes and stuff like that for the most part. So you can't say like Chronicles something else because the mid-season updates don't really add new content, right? Well, like this year we had the Santa update and the Christmas stuff, but like in all reality, it's just like a mid-season update where it's bug fixes and stuff like that for the most part. So yeah, the 10.1 still works for me. I get it. I know what you're saying, but 10.1 is fine.
Yeah, and I get it too, and it's just funny. So what can you do? But yeah, anyways, so if we're looking back at this past year, what was your, I guess, either favorite season or favorite update from this year?
Well, I actually have 2, and I know it might sound a little strange. So season 8 Trappers, which might sound very odd, because there wasn't a ton of new content that one, but that's when they really focused on bug fixes, and they started optimizing stuff. Um, and honestly, like that kind of opened my eyes and said, you know what, we're on the right path, because instead of just pushing new stuff, they're willing to take almost a step back in order to improve the game, like gameplay, the game, the future of the game. Um, so yeah, as much as like season 8 didn't have a ton of new content, um, honestly, I think that's one of my favorite seasons in the past year. The other one would be actually this current season, just because the new cosmetics in this battle pass are probably the best
Yeah,
out of
no, that's true.
all of them. So and I do like the L85A1. I'm not rocking it all the time. I don't actually have the weapon plan yet because I still haven't claimed my battle pass code, because I'm on the grind to finish the battle pass without any boosters, and I'm almost there. I'm like level 47 and a half or something. But yeah, so I do enjoy this season too, mostly for the cosmetics that they've added, because they are absolute fire. I love them.
Yeah, and for me, I get what you're saying. Like season 8 Trappers was a great one. Actually, I've enjoyed all the different seasons for different reasons, right? Like yeah, Trappers was great. It had some really good visuals. It did have a lot, like you said, not a lot of content. Season 9 was great. There was some great stuff that came out in season 9 that I really enjoyed. But my favorite is definitely season 10. Um, for multiple reasons, I guess. Um, the new shootout map became my favorite shootout map. It was
Mm.
a faster mode of
Yeah.
shootout. I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, and I found that going back to like a Sag Brooks shootout afterwards, there was just I don't know if it's just the new players, but there's just seems so much more camping in shootout, and it boggled me, and it was just so much running around trying to find people sometimes that I found it frustrating. So I just really
Mm.
like, even if I don't do necessarily great at it, sometimes
Yeah.
it varies. Um, that is my favorite mode of shootout now. And then they also brought out the updates to eliminations, which was huge for me. I
Hmm.
because prior to that, I rarely ever played eliminations. It was like, all you got was maybe some experience, maybe some food, whatever.
Yeah.
Then they revamped the reward system totally, and that was amazing.
Yep.
Still no new maps for eliminations, but at least eliminations is one that had choices for maps anyways. You never knew what map you were going to get. It would just, you
Yeah.
go in and say, okay, what map are we getting? And sometimes you get the same map multiple times in a row. Sometimes you'd get a mixture of maps.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what the logic is for their for how maps are figured out for eliminations. It would be kind of cool
Yep.
to know.
Yeah. Um, Elim's update though, that was season 9.
Was the update season 9?
Yep.
Okay,
Stalkers.
see, okay, there we go. I totally forgot about that.
It's okay.
Yeah,
So you
it's
also
hard to keep
like
track.
season
But
9?
I liked all the seasons, yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's season 10, like you were saying, it brought us the new shootout map, which was huge. It
Yeah.
brought us a lot, some really great uh customizations, like outfits and such, which were and gun customizations, which were really nice as well. And then it came out with the L85 gun, which is just a fantastic new addition.
Hmm.
Um, it came out with flash grenades.
Yep.
I really liked the grenades coming out, but there for me, it's like whatever. I'm not a,
Hmm.
I don't need grenades, but I'm not upset that grenades exist,
No.
right?
I,
Um, yeah.
this, I was kind of in the same boat. I was like, at first I was like, oh, I don't know how this is going to be.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not that bad. Like with
No.
the cap on the number you could have and the spawn rate within encounters, it's honestly not that bad. And I
No.
honestly find that flashbangs aren't that like present in the game. Like people don't use them all that much. You'll see a lot more grenade
Yes.
usage, but not flashbangs.
And it's hard to say if flashbangs, if it's just because people have a harder time knowing if they
Hmm.
are effective or not, right? Because you throw a flash grenade and you don't know how well it's worked, and that's not a bad like.
Yeah,
Really, should you know? You don't know if someone's been affected by a flashbang or not.
yeah,
So it kind of makes sense. It's just maybe that's part of the thinking of why people there's no hit marker, so people are
yeah,
just not sure, and
yeah,
so maybe that's why it's not as effective. I don't know.
yeah,
But they're kind of cool still. I don't mind them. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, that would be my, I guess, so far favorite, which was the Chronicles, and that's also because they came out with all the lore, and I haven't even listened to all
yeah.
the lore yet. I've sort of
Oh
been
no,
waiting. I listened
no.
to the first couple, and then it's like, I'm gonna wait till I have them all so I can listen to them in order.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. It's a
Yeah,
good story.
yeah. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, that was what we thought of as our favorite for the last year. So
Yeah.
now we're going to sort of
Oh,
recap. Oh,
hold on,
go ahead.
I forgot.
Uh oh.
Uh, I want to do a shout out
Oh, okay.
because I just saw this earlier tonight. So Vigor partner that guy Brian Evans
Yep.
hit 10K subscribers on YouTube,
Oh, amazing.
which
That's
was
awesome.
actually part of his 2021 goals. So he actually hit it.
Yeah.
So just big thumbs
Oh, that's
up.
awesome.
Congrats to him because
That's huge.
by far he is the most he has the most subscribers on YouTube um
Yeah,
out of any
truthfully, I don't.
partners because
Yeah, because I know Fox is over 5K now.
yeah, he surpassed 5K last week.
Yeah, and
So
I don't know what Christopher Beast's numbers are, but
yeah,
those are the only ones I really know who have a YouTube presence. I know there's War Dog has
well,
presence as well, but I don't know what his numbers are. It's
there's
uh,
like Afflicted Gamer 2 who's puts
hmm.
out YouTube content. um yeah,
Yeah, so
there's a few.
there's quite a few partners for sure who do YouTube content, but unfortunately, truthfully, I don't necessarily keep track of what everyone's doing, and I should check them out. That's my bad. My bad.
I love like catching as much Vigor content as I can. So um
Yeah, no, that's fair.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, that's awesome for that guy Brian Adams, Brian Evans,
Brian Evans.
Brian Evans, Brian Evans.
Yeah,
um, so that's great.
sorry,
Um,
tangent.
tangents are fine. But
Yeah,
yeah, we're gonna go over our last year's New Year's wish list. I'll bring it up as we talk about it as well, so that you can also see what we. And it's just in bullet point, and I just sort of typed it out quickly so that we could just at least go through what we talked about. Um, but yeah, let's start with it. And I just whoa, okay, this is looking weird, but just go with it, guys. It's not how I wanted it to be, but it's working. Oh, there it goes. It's refreshing. It's catching up. So the first thing that we had talked about last year was additional shelter upgrades. We were hoping for new shelter upgrades to show up. Um, because a lot of people have maxed out their shelters, but
I
unfortunately,
joined the
that's
club.
something. What's that? Oh, you
I
maxed out. Yeah,
joined the
you
club.
did. You
I
finally
maxed out my
maxed out your
shelter
shelter.
last month about,
Yeah.
so I'm
I'm s-
excited.
yeah, I'm still several upgrades away from
Yeah,
maxing out. I'm close. Like I
yeah,
think there's still my chemical distillations just like one or two away. My wood pile is one or two away, and then I think there's my wind farm and a couple other things, but they're very close. It's just I'm
yeah,
at the point now where I'm collecting so much wire and chemicals and all that kind of stuff to get it finished off. So
Wind turbine, the last upgrade takes 29,000 wire, so
Yeah,
get collecting.
exactly. Yeah, so
But
it's going to be one of those grinds.
to be fair too, you are on 2 consoles as well. So
And I do plan, yeah. This season, I barely touched my PlayStation, because I've been trying to get my Xbox up first. It took a little while for partners to get their passes, and I was sort of holding out, waiting for a pass to really take advantage of it.
mhm.
So, it hopefully I'll be able to start on the, like, I did get a little bit of the PlayStation done during like a double XP weekend they had, and I'm hoping they'll come up with another double XP weekend sometime in the next little bit. That might help, finish
Yeah.
off my Xbox, get some more levels going on my PlayStation. But yeah, so I'm getting close on the shelter upgrades, but no, they haven't done anything new for shelter upgrades yet.
No.
Don't know if you know, and I don't know if there's anything in the works. They've been pretty tight-lipped about that. So
They've mentioned in past dev streams that they have had numerous discussions and stuff like
yeah,
that, but obviously they're not going to share anything.
no,
Um,
no,
so
no.
anyways,
Yeah, and whenever they share anything, people's always when. It's like it's
yes,
coming soon.
yeah,
We can't tell you.
exactly,
Shut up.
yeah,
And yeah, one of the ideas I think I had for an additional shelter upgrade
yep,
is
that was useful.
maybe like something like a compost area, something where you could take extra food you had, add it to a compost to make more material. So that was just sort of an idea I had for something to do with more food. So that was just a wish list thing, but that, again, um, we also had the idea to potentially trade food or resources. Um,
Yep,
like maybe using something like a fake trader, or something like in a shop like interface, um, where you could maybe trade, using resources or food to get weapons or other things, like through something like that. So didn't see that. Nothing like that has come about.
nope,
Um, I know this one was next one was near and dear to your heart.
yes. Additional loadouts would have been very nice.
Yeah,
Like it's a nice to have. It's not end of the world, but yeah,
no,
definitely. Like we talked about it, like different maps are going to be different types of play styles, or like even as content creators, you may have like a redeemable where it's like you're doing a zero to hero, or you're doing like a shotgun run or something like that. So that definitely would be nice.
yeah, that would have been
Uh,
nice for sure.
yeah,
And it could, it's still something, you never know, maybe in the future
yeah,
that could be something that we would like to see again. And I've also thought about different ways you could do it, because right now it's you press the thumb button to bring up, the different things like uh, load your loadout or whatever it is,
yeah,
um, set your loadout or clear, um, like ammo you don't need, kind of thing,
yeah,
stuff not relevant to your loadout.
yeah.
So
Move unusable items
yeah, move
is what it is.
unusable items,
Yeah,
and so it would be, I don't know about easy. I'm just saying you could make it so that when you're going to loadout, click on it, and then it gives you an option of 1, 2, or 3, and you just move your stick and select the appropriate loadout. It just be
yeah,
like a nested menu, maybe, right? And same with your setting:
yeah,
set 1, set 2, set 3. So,
yep.
anyways, um, another
uh,
one that
n-
we had down there. Go
yeah,
for it.
seasonal leaderboards. That one, it's been around for a while.
I think
As
multiple
nice
people have
to
voted for
have.
this.
Yeah, it would definitely be nice to have. Just because like some people have not been around since uh, the inception of leaderboards, which was towards the end of season one. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, because like there's no way like we're ever going to catch up to like any category like loot value, kills, airdrops, or whatnot.
Yeah.
Unless some people just absolutely stop playing and we just start grinding the heck out of it, or
Yeah.
anyone new, right? So it would be nice to have that. Um, and then next, ability to scroll the leaderboard. That so that's mostly uh, for the friends list. Um, I can understand not having that when you're like in the top 10 or in your current ranking, just because it would be kind of intensive to query constantly like the leaderboard. Uh, but your
Right. We don't know
friend,
what the back end engine's like. Yeah.
yeah. So then your actual friends list, though, it's like I have 20, 30 people who play Vigor, and it's like it would be kind of cool to actually like be able to scroll through and see placement wise amongst those friends where am I at, right?
Right.
um like for the most part, it's like I'm not even top 10 in any of those categories in the friends list. Like I
Yeah.
finally cracked one like in loot value where it's like I'm in the top 10 now, and it's like I'm trying to catch up to Modblog and Teddy, who are like slightly ahead of me. But other than that, it's like I'm not even on the top 10 for all the other categories. So that would be kind of nice. And I think technically it's there. Like it tells you that if you right click and hit up or down, it should work, but it doesn't actually work.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it
Uh,
it's a minor bug, but
yeah. And it's also like when you look at certain things, like you can tell that there have been people who um have sort of messed with them a little bit. Like if you look at average loot value, right? That's your average loot
mhm,
value based on, all your different games, how much
yeah,
loot you bring out. And then you look at the top ones, and there's like somebody with a top of 50,000 or something, or 30,000. And that's because they went in, played a game, went to a map like Diverg,
yeah,
where you can get like a huge loot value out of it
yeah,
if you survive, and then stopped using that
yeah.
account. And then they've done
But
that multiple times because you can see the
yeah,
names, right?
yeah, it's pretty much the same name. The only thing is, my understanding is that they are aware of these people and these accounts, so
Yeah.
they
Yeah. And, they're
maybe
aware of
they'll
it.
do something about it. But
Yeah.
uh,
But if it had a seasonal board, then
yeah,
for all of these different stats, then you,
or
you
even
wouldn't
game,
necessarily have to worry about.
yeah, or minimum games required to play and stuff like that.
True, because yeah, they're like to even see the leaderboards for an account, you typically have to play at least 100 games. But it doesn't mean it's not keeping track of your stats. So these people who have these accounts that have been just spammed for, you know, to mess with things like this, even though they may not be able to see the accounts on the boards on those accounts, they probably have an account where they can see the boards and see, haha, we're still up there. So,
Hmm.
anyways, so yeah, the ability to scroll leaderboards was also one.
Yeah,
One we would have liked to have seen from last year: individual teammate markers in different colors.
yeah,
Just a way to make it a little easier to differentiate your teammates when you're looking at like the
yeah.
compass, um, and or on
Yeah.
the map too.
Well, so we do have the markers on the map,
Well,
because or not the
yeah,
map, but like the pings, because the pings, the only issue is that both, like say you're playing trios, both your teammates are going to show up as blue, as opposed to you're going to be yellow,
yeah,
right?
that's a
But the
little new, but
marker,
yeah,
yeah, but the markers on the map itself, like the little stars, yeah, they're all going to be the same thing. But at least we have the numbers, 1, 2, 3.
they have the numbers, but sometimes if you're trying to remember what number you are,
Yeah,
you ping something is like, am I one or are you one?
yeah.
You're not 100 always 100% sure. So
I always,
it's still something
I,
I'd like to see.
I try to double click or something like that just to see if like to make sure I know which one I am, but
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes I forget.
That's a good good method or tool to
Um,
do, or trick, I guess, is to double click it, so like
yep,
not just place it a couple times so you just remember.
yep. Uh,
um and
Next
then
on the
now the
list,
next one's
oh,
actually happened.
yeah, rework of elimination rewards. So
Yeah.
that was a big one, which happened not too long ago. But it happened, and honestly, like I love what they did. It works really well. Like I threw out the suggestion that maybe like the top 3 people, score wise, didn't matter on which team would get crates, but like honestly, like the elimination crates, they're good. The dev team, I think, really learned their lesson with the shootout crates. When those first came out, they were very OP,
There was, yeah.
and were very very generous. but these ones here are pretty like they're good. They're decent. They're not OP and they're not like useless, right? I think
Yeah.
they're still valuable. And then we did talk about 2 episodes ago about eliminations.
Yeah, we did an elimination episode. Yeah.
Yeah, about like how the slots work, and which place gives you like cosmetics and materials and whatnot. So I do think they did a good job with that rework for sure.
Yeah, they did. And it's made it so that I actually want to play elims. And we do it now
Yep.
on our streams regularly. We always try
Yep.
to, the last half hour of our streams, we always try to get together, do some elims, get some viewers in as well, and just have fun, because it's fun. And even if we're losing, it's it's sometimes it'd be frustrating for sure, but just
Mm-hmm.
like anything, but it's still fun. And then when you come back, say, from behind, where you're down like 3 or 4 games or matches, rounds, whatever, and then you come back to win, that makes it even more more
Satisfying.
rewarding, more
Yep.
satisfying. Yeah. So they really did a huge, like, just reworking the rewards made it so that limbs are desirable, and a lot of people are playing them again.
Oh,
Um,
not just. I think the big thing too was like getting rid of team killing.
oh yes, actually that was a huge thing too, and that sort of like falls in the next one, refreshing the limbs. They didn't do much, like, other than the rewards, but they made it so that there's no team killing anymore, and that was huge. That got rid of a lot of the trolls. At the beginning, when they did a lot of this, you would find, and I don't know if it's still a thing, I haven't noticed it as much, but then when I'm playing, we usually have fairly good sized teams going. But there used to be quite a bit of somebody coming into a team and then not doing anything, just sort of sitting
Yeah.
at the spawn. Um, Now, I have run into a couple times. Well, I've run into at least once, and I know of someone else who's run to it, where maybe on the first game, I've had it where it's like been a black screen, and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see anything, but the game was still happening.
Yep.
And then after the second round, it let me in. So hard to know if there are people were having a lot of that issue at first.
Yep.
Don't know. But it still happens on occasion. But it's not, it's another bug fix.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe eventually they'll figure out what's causing that, and it won't happen as much. But yeah. But limbs, huge. That was a huge thing that happened this year within the last few months. So
Yep.
that was like one of the best changes.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah. Custom lobbies is one that we had talked about, the ability to potentially make a custom lobby either for limbs or for other game modes.
Yep.
Nothing's happened there, obviously.
No.
Yeah. That would have been a cool thing. We were talking about it for the ability to, say, have the ability to make a custom lobby, say, for tournaments, that kind of thing. But yeah, yeah, they never. I don't know if they've ever. You've probably caught more of the dev streams than I have. Have they ever mentioned anything about that you can
Uh,
remember?
they kind of have in passing. Like I don't remember exactly when, but
Yeah,
I seem to recall them saying like it would require quite a bit of work to do.
yeah,
But it's not that they didn't say no, but it's just like there's more important things ahead. Is
right.
what I remember. But this was a while ago. I think it was during the summer
Okay,
actually. So
okay, yeah, it makes sense, and I'm sure it'd be a lot of work and a lot of resources to put something like that in. So,
yeah,
we also had we would have liked to have seen a new map, and that was something that we're working on.
yeah.
So that one I could almost say is not necessarily complete, but almost complete. So this
Yeah.
next year we'll see it.
Yeah, and like to be fair, like their intentions was to have it ready for season 10. And it's
But like
just
anything,
they weren't able to get it done in time, but at least we
yeah,
got it as part of the new shootout map, which is the next item on the list.
yeah,
So
yeah, the
we
new
did get a new
shootout map.
shootout
So we
map.
didn't get a regular map, but the map they were working on got truncated a little bit to make it a shootout map, and that the Kirsten shootout map,
Yeah,
which takes place on the dam, and yeah,
yeah,
just fun.
yeah. It is.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, same. Yeah, I love it too. We came up or
Oh
you
yeah,
had come up with a
game
new
mode.
game mode, potential game mode.
Yeah.
Um,
So basically, you go in with the crate. Every time you kill someone, you get to grab their crate. Sorry. You could leave at any time. So basically, you go in with like a common crate. You get a couple kills. You could get up to like load up to a rare crate. But if you wipe the lobby, then it's like you're getting golds or double
right,
crates. And like you could boost it if you want at a certain cost. Um, Now you had suggested maybe like having specific exits per like for each player or
right.
whatnot.
Like
It,
having a
it,
random exit that the player would have to get to, so that
yeah,
it wouldn't necessarily be known what exit someone might be heading for. Yeah,
yeah. Um, and then the only thing that I didn't really have an idea for was like basically the cost because you have to make it where it's expensive because you're getting so many valuable crates out of this game mode
yeah,
that you don't want someone just farming crates and clearing lobbies. So um, the cost, like I think I had suggested, either you're putting up one of your own crates um, from your actual shelter in order to throw it up there, or like maybe like there's like a huge crown cost.
yeah.
So
The crown cost one almost for me, I would sort of balk at it just because like you get it would almost limit who'd want to play it just because people might be skeptical or spending too much money. Like sure, there's crown costs for boosting lobbies and insurance and such, but if you make it like too high a cost, then you may not get enough people interested in playing it. That's
yeah,
just my
but
thoughts. Yeah,
yeah, but again, like this, it has to be high stakes, essentially,
yeah,
and that's why. So,
right.
but anyways,
Um,
that was the game mode.
yeah, that was a little game mode that you had thrown out that you had been thinking about. We bandied about a little bit as we talked about it. Um,
Hmm.
I had talked about we had also talked about skill based matchmaking because at the time, this
Yeah.
is really hadn't really fleshed it out. Would it have been worth doing something like a skill based matchmaking thing? And yeah, we had I think by the end determined no, it really wouldn't be. And the devs have even sort of mentioned it too because other people have sort of gone saying, why can't we have something like this so that we're not getting thrown in with these you know killing
Slut.
high end players or whatever. But the
Yeah.
devs have even come out and said, well, the problem is that it would cause too many, you know you'd have problems with lobbies, like getting lobbies
Queue
loaded up
times.
queue
Yeah.
times, that kind of thing, if you started trying to match people based on that. Because as it is, there are like 12-man lobbies where half
Hmm.
the time I'm going in, it's only like 9 people in because they don't have enough people for the full lobby.
Yep.
So it'd be even worse if you're trying to base on skill base, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then um, we also talked about an alternate mode of potentially shootout because I think it was something that I think it was a Macromos at the time, way back last year, talking about doing a type of a game mode where you would start with a certain weapon type, like a common weapon or whatever, even a pistol, and then your weapon would get better as you got kills. And if you
Hmm.
died, you would go back to a regular, the common pistol again. And then
Yep.
we also bandied about, well, maybe it would be good to have it as a shootout mode. So it'd still be in a mode of a game that is existing, it's shootout. And instead of having crates around where you get weapons out of, you just your weapon would cycle as you got more kills, as you got a kill chain going.
Yep.
So that was sort of an alternate kind of game mode that we kind of were talking about at the end of the last wish list.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that was essentially everything we talked about last year for the wish list. And while yeah, a lot of this was just us sort of talking about things we would love to see in a perfect kind of world. Um, there are things in here that you know aren't out of the question. That could happen potentially, in the future. You never know. But
Yep.
it was nice to see a few things pop up, like elims, the new map, new shootout map, that kind of thing. Because we
Yep.
had also talked about well, no, we didn't really talk about new shootout map specifically last year, but there had been talks.
No,
Or I
we
guess we
did.
didn't we?
We did. Yeah, we did, because we talked about Grontheim being like the downtown of
Yes.
Grontheim being part of a new shootout map.
Or even having an indoor map or something too. I remember throwing that out there. It'd be nice to have like a big indoor map. And this new one that we got is almost a combination of the two, because there is a little bit of indoor with it, but not much. It's like there's a little bit of a tunnel, a couple tunnels that you can go through on this dam, and there's like a couple little spawn. Well, there's the spawn point, which is like an elevator shaft, and there's like a little junction point, which is just inside a building. So there's a little bit of indoor, just like Cyberbrook has some indoor too, but yeah, nothing specifically indoor. So
Nope.
yeah, but yeah, that was last year's wish list. And yeah, so now let's go into what our wish list for 2022 is. That's don't need to have that up anymore. So you actually had some ideas. What are your ideas?
I did. Like there's some stuff that like are pretty basic, right? Like we got our first taste at lore. So let's keep it coming.
Yeah, more lore.
I'm loving it,
for sure.
digging it. So keep it up. Did enjoy it, and like I know you mentioned you haven't really listened to it all, but it is good. Yeah, they did a good job, and it's not the hardest thing too is coming out of like the game's already been established, right?
Right.
So to tack on lore in an existing setting is not necessarily easy, right?
No.
So I think they did a good job with this. If it's a brand spanking new game and you have like no starting point for the lore, it's like you could literally do whatever you want. But they actually did a good job with this. Next,
No, absolutely.
I would definitely love to see the bug fixes continue, which obviously I think they will. Like there's still bugs. Like the one bug, I don't know if you've probably noticed it in the 10.1 update, Doc. When you open a lockbox, sometimes you could like loot one item and then it just kind of freezes, and basically you have to go back in to like loot the rest of the stuff you want.
So
but
it's like they were fixing
like
one bug. They fixed the bug
yeah,
where when you open the lock, it would keep the lock open even after you've looted it, and you have to cancel out of the lock. So they fixed that, but now the contents are bugged.
So keep that going. Like another thing bug wise is, and this one kind of ties into like another one, is like keep up with the next gen console optimizations. It's the rendering. Like there's still quite a few like rendering issues, like render distance. Like I always think of like when you're on Phil Canton, you'll often see in the distance as you're moving, like the flowers kind of pop in and out, or even like different maps. There's some objects that actually do like just render in at a later point in time than others. So like hopefully like they're probably aware of those kind of things, but like keep that up, because like I said, since season 7-8, they focused a lot on bug fixing, so it like I have faith in Johanny and their team to get this fixed.
And I've noticed that too with the rendering, like especially on maps like I think it's like Forest where I notice it. When you're looking like down the river, sometimes a good distance, you can sort of see where it almost looks like the rendering is like showing you these sort of like where it's cutting off cliffs or something, right? And then you get a little closer and it fills in the details and that kind of thing. It's the same with the flowers you were mentioning. So
thank you for mentioning the water, because that made me think of another one that I forgot to write down.
All right.
So people have talked about adding more people to Grontheim Valley, and I had this discussion with someone, and I totally forgot about this. But in the dev stream, I believe it's Johanny again
Mm-hmm.
who mentioned it. The actual water is very intensive on bandwidth or CPU usage.
Oh, I see what
So,
you're saying.
and that is one of the reasons why there is not more people on Grandtime. So the last update, our 10.1 update, they had a bunch of optimizations, um, especially with like the bullet rendering and whatnot. They talked about it. Even the radiation
Mm-hmm.
was optimized like 95%. Maybe they could work on water and then actually get more people into Grandtime and
Yeah.
maybe propagate that to over to Diverg because Diverg has a giant river going through it all as well.
And that, yeah, because Diverg, like you said, does have a giant river going through it as well. And I wonder if it has to do with the intensity of the river.
Mm,
Because Grantham, that river, if you get in it, there are times where you can get trapped in it, where
yep.
like the water is so strong. If you get like
You
stuck
got to go
against a log,
downstream. Yeah.
yeah, you'll go downstream, or you'll get like stuck against a log or something. And there have been times where I've almost been stuck there, and almost like I'm like the whole match, I'm just trying to get out from this log.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not frozen like Diverg, otherwise you'd be dead just from freezing. But
Yep.
it might be an intensity thing because the water's moving so fast through Grantham that must be part of what's making it so intensive.
Hmm.
That's my guess.
Yeah. Uh, so this one here is a little tweak on one of our previous ones. So seasonal leaderboards. Now I came up with an idea for new titles where in the situation we have seasonal leaderboards.
Right.
I've actually posted this on Reddit, and I think I talked about it with you, Doc, at one point. But we'd have seasonal leaderboards, and then at the end of each season, you award a title for, like, say, first place, and then first place would get like a gold medal, or a gold title, and basically the titles would reflect that season's title, and then there'd be like little tweaks to it just to like signify that it's for
Okay.
this category. And then so first place would get a gold version, there'd be a silver one for like say either the top 3 or top 5, and then a bronze version for anyone in the top 10. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So seasonal leaderboards, and it's like you could have that. If they ever added more categories, they could do that as well. So
Right.
it would be a diverse thing. Now, one thing um, that was mentioned like a while ago in DevStream is they only track certain stats.
Hmm.
So and because we're not doing seasonal leaderboards, like it would require like a whole rework. But maybe we'll put like a link to the Reddit post in the description, and then if you guys could check it out. There was actually some good back and forth comments on it, but
Okay.
yeah, that was a new title idea that I had for the seasonal leaderboards.
Hmm. That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Sorry, I'm dying here.
Don't die.
Um, and so next on the wish list, I'm going to guarantee this is on everyone's wish list. Crossplay.
Yes.
Crossplay,
Yeah.
everyone would love this. Like
There's
PlayStation
so many
players,
times where someone's like,
yeah,
is available crossplay? Like, no,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. It's like pseudo crossplay where it's like Switch players can go up against Xbox players, but they
Yeah.
can't party up together. And PlayStation, they're completely separate.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I would love this. I know a ton of people would love this. I know some people on PlayStation have literally gotten themselves a used Xbox in order to play against people on Xbox.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
I know a lot of the thing is like it there's two things to crossplay. Yeah, there's the ability to queue up with people of the different consoles. But beyond that, it's and that might just be what we get just because, if Sony gets to the point where they allow crossplay I'm seeing the initial crossplay is going to be like what we have with the Switch, where you
Yeah.
can queue up with people of other consoles, but you wouldn't necessarily be able to team up
Yeah.
or talk to people because of the different architecture and the different voice systems that are out there for the thing. Like Sony has its proprietary voice
Platform.
system,
Yeah.
Xbox has Xbox their live chat, and then then you get like Switch has nothing.
Yeah. They have to use Discord or whatnot.
Yeah, and and while when I see our initial crossplay being like just queuing up to get voice and all that kind of thing, then we're looking at, well, they have to have the game will have to have its own chat, and that's
Yeah.
similar like Fortnite and
Yeah.
other games like Back for Blood. They have crossplay with PC at least. I don't know if I don't even know if Back for Blood's out for PlayStation. I have no clue. But I know
Probably.
you can do chat within Back for Blood with PC,
Yeah.
because it's all built into the game. And so,
Yeah.
really, if we want chat, it's going to have to be built into the game, or people
They,
have to use an
yeah.
alternate thing like Discord.
Yeah. And like even at that, like to party up with someone else, like even I would do non chat party up with PlayStation players. What
True.
they'd have to do is basically have a Bohemia account. They'd have to have a whole platform where like there's a Bohemia account, you link your Xbox account, your PlayStation account, your Switch account, and then that way you invite your friends based off of that list.
Yeah.
Essentially that's how like everyone pretty much does it.
Yep.
So if I ever see that, oh my god, it's like I'm not even speculating at that point. I'm saying crossplay is here.
Yeah, that'd be full crossplay. That'd be awesome, and that could be the point where the game really hits the next level.
Yeah.
That's one of the like little stumbling blocks, right? Like no even minor crossplay right now. But
Yeah.
if they got to that level of crossplay where people had a Bohemia account, they could invite their friends from whatever platform to play with them, and
Yeah.
at that point that's where you might even have the voice chat available too,
Yeah.
through that. Then the game, there'd be almost no stopping the game. It'd be,
No.
I think it would just start to rise, right? People would just start
Yeah.
to take notice.
I,
Then you'll start getting
yeah.
the people like, I want PC. It's like, oh,
Like I don't mind. Yeah, I think like the chat would come all in once there. Like I think the whole
yeah,
thing would. I don't think they would go like little step by step. I think it would be
no,
like here's cross platform, and then everyone's like oh, and then it's like everyone's excited because I know people they're like on PlayStation and they're like, is it cross platform? Can I play with you? And it's like no, and they're like okay, see you never. It's like
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but I'm like, it's
no,
so awesome. It's such a great game.
yeah,
Nah,
that's the next level kind of thing that we'd love to see.
yeah. Okay. Next on my wish list, new Vigor Packs. So,
Okay, like the
I'm
ones you buy in the stores kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm not talking about like the premium packs,
No,
which are like $90 or $70 Canadian.
yeah,
I'm talking about like the nice ones, the nice little cheap ones where like we have the armory pack and the starter pack, which in Canada is $12.79, I believe, for the packs.
yeah,
For
something like that.
in the US it's $9.99.
Yeah,
And basically you get like 650 crowns, and the starter pack has like basically basic cosmetics,
yeah,
while the
different
armory pack
outfits.
gets
Yeah,
while the armory pack gives you like a number of weapons.
yep.
But these packs here, they're only you can only buy them once,
Hmm.
and they haven't been refreshed.
No,
Like the release date on the starter pack was August 2019, while the armory pack was December 2019.
yeah,
So they haven't had anything like this more recently, if
no,
I'm not mistaken.
no.
So
Yeah,
it would
I
be nice
haven't
to
seen
have something
anything.
like this.
The closest thing they've had, and it's not these kind of packs, is they had those
The
little
Game Pass perk packs and
the Game Pass
the
perk
PS
packs.
Plus.
They just released one for Xbox. There's the PlayStation Plus pack, same kind of thing, where they released one last year at some point, and
There's one right now too, Doc.
oh yeah, that's right.
It came out on the 29th.
Oh yeah, that's right. They came out with the one that has the knitted hat or the toque and mitts, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't picked that one up yet on the PlayStation Plus, but I'll
Make sure you
definitely
do.
have to. I will. It's the purple one because it matches the purple, the last one, which was a purple anorak. Yeah.
Yep.
And then on the Xbox, we just got a green anorak, which also had a green sling bag as well. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, those are the only things that have sort of been recent, other than changing the big expensive pack,
Yeah.
right? Like the expensive crown / and this
Yeah.
last one was a special Chronicles outfit with the mesh.
Which is kind of interesting because as we were setting up, I was going on the browser Xbox store, and I couldn't even find the Path to Vengeance pack or the new one online.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure on the game itself, like if you go to the shop,
yeah,
it's still there. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway,
yeah, I haven't looked for it recently. I did look at it. It was maybe like just before Christmas because they had put it on sale, and I was just curious what the sale was.
See,
it was like $20 cheaper at the time, I think.
See, and that's the thing is when they posted that, I looked at it and I didn't see a difference in price because it dropped in price in November, $20 to like $69.99. And then they tweeted out and I didn't see it at a lower price. So I don't know if that's what they meant.
Maybe.
But anyways, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So next one, we kind of talked about it. The crowns, rework the in-game economy. Just because, like everyone's talked about it. Half Metal Fox did a ridiculous video about, if you were going to purchase everything, how much it was going to cost you and whatnot. It is like a hot topic because a lot of people, if you scour like the Reddit forum or Discord or whatnot, a lot of people are asking for it, lower the cost. Like even like I broke it down. Basically, like a crown costs like 3 cents Canadian, but then when you start adding up, like you need 30 crowns to do a single boost, or like insurance is like 60. Like it starts getting pricey, and then when you bring in the cosmetics, it's like I think Bad Santa is what it's called, right? The new one,
no, the Bad Elf.
Bad Elf. Sorry, Bad Elf. Yes, sorry, not Bad Santa.
Yeah,
but that's
a movie.
Oh my God, there you go. Next year Christmas skin, Bad Santa, and then it's like some dingy looking Santa outfit. Oh my God, boom! I'll
awesome.
take royalties. Thank you.
Actually, they may have to fight with whatever the producer was of that for that. Like the movie producer.
No. You just make it a little different, and then it's like boom. As long as the guy doesn't have a bottle of vodka, it's fine.
Doesn't look like Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah, you're okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so Bad Elf today, I logged on. I think it was on sale, 700 crowns. Basically, the conversion, it's costing us $21 Canadian.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's. I don't know. Like I love Vigor so much, but this is the one aspect of the game I do not like. And I'll buy crown packs and stuff like that to get my boosts on, and sometimes buy certain cosmetics. Like I bought what's the other Christmas one there that they came that I like? You don't like. We like the opposite ones. Christmas Eve,
the vest with the
Christmas Eve is what it's called. So I bought that one.
I actually bought Bad Santa. When they had it on sale, or Bad Elf. Yeah, you got me saying it now.
Yeah,
Bad Elf. When they had it on sale for Christmas, there it was less than 700. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was
Yeah.
maybe 400 or something like that. I can't remember. I actually bought the last shop pack that I hadn't bought, which was the weapon one that came with 650 credits or crowns, I
Oh,
should say.
the armory pack. Yeah.
The armory pack. I actually bought the armory pack both on Xbox and on PlayStation, so
Yeah.
I would have the crown, so I could get that outfit on both, and a
Because
couple little upgrades.
yeah, it is so much. It's funny because you buy that, you get 650 crowns, and like if it's a starter pack, it's like the cosmetics or whatever.
Yeah,
You actually save money by buying that pack compared to the other ones.
yeah. But now
So
that's no longer an option for me. I've done it.
yeah, exactly, right. It's a one time.
Yeah.
Like they don't even have to do it like every like 3 months, 6 months. Like do it once a year where you refresh those packs.
Yeah.
Right.
Give people a chance to buy it once a year, and people would do it, and
Yeah.
that'd just be more money for them. Yeah.
hmm and then wait, something had just flown into my head and I didn't have it written down, and I was just like, oh my god. Oh yes, so it kind of ties in with like the cosmetics and whatnot. Mentioned it earlier. I think it was a Half Metal Fox interview where instead of making you buy a cosmetic for a single weapon, it's like you're buying
Yes.
it as a set.
Yeah. We did talk
Give
about
me
that.
like a one price, and I have like a nebula skin for all my weapons or something like that. Now, like the old stuff, who knows? Because it was implemented differently, that may not be
Feasible.
possible.
Yeah.
They may have to rework the whole thing, and it's like I get it, because it almost sounds as if like the old way of doing the weapon skins, they were literally like doing it individually as
They're
instead of a
individually
wrap.
painting it for each weapon. Yeah, as opposed to
So
making it a wrap,
a wrap.
which they did with the Halloween ones, I think, starting, and the Nebula
Yeah,
and the Mamba.
yeah.
Now I'm not going to say that's perfect, because I have noticed like some skins just don't work as well in the wrap on some guns.
Mhm. Yeah,
But it's a start, and then if they can make it so it's a little bit looks a little bit better, and it might depend on the skin too, because some of those Halloween
yeah,
ones, they just didn't quite. There was and I think it was mainly that one that was like the one I liked, which
yeah,
was the darker jack-o'-lantern kind of one. Didn't work on all guns, unfortunately.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
absolutely.
like to me, I'm like I think that would be a huge win because like I think on average like a gun skin is like around 300 crowns, maybe 400. And
Yep.
I'm like at least in my mind, if I get at least the whole set, it may be worth it.
Right.
But like to buy it for a single one,
Yeah, for
like
one gun, and
yeah,
yeah,
I like how I am. I love this game and everything, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, ah, it hurts. It hurts so much.
it does. For sure.
And I'm yeah, and it's like I'm providing like constructive criticism. I'm not just bashing it. But you know what
Yep.
it. Everyone knows. Like I said, there's a ton of posts there. There's been videos made. Like I think Christopher Beast has made some too, and like I said,
Hmm.
Half Metal Fox and everything. So, anyways, next thing. Uh, this is not just one for the game itself. This is actually one for the dev team. Uh, I really hope that they get additional resources, either a cash influx or additional staffing, like to hire more dev team members, or just more marketing dollars or whatnot. Like I want Bohemia Interactive to understand how awesome and special this game is, because there's nothing like it on console. We say it time and time again. There's nothing like this on console, and it's like they have a golden opportunity to seize like this marketplace, be like the leader. Well, essentially right now they're the leader, but by default, there's other people who are trying to imitate it, and they haven't been able to find like the formula.
Right.
because they're all trying to put their own spin on it. So and like there was the article. Oh my god, I don't remember what that
Oh,
website is.
yeah, I know
Um,
what you mean.
yeah, Foxy made
Fox did
a
a
video
video
on
on it.
it.
Yep.
We talked about it with Foxy on and off the podcast. Like we had a chat before the podcast, and we chatted during it. Like I have serious concerns that some AAA dev studio is actually going to say like battle royales are like dying. Like they're not going to die overnight, but like the numbers are slowly like decreasing.
Yep.
And it's like, what's the next genre? And it's like the grind, the high risk of like something like Vigor is special, and honestly it's addicting. Like you may not, it may not be for everyone, because like I don't know how many people I've seen stream Vigor and like they're maybe a week in and then they're like done because they're like it's too hard. And it's like, but that's the thing, right? You need to be like willing to like put in the time and effort uh to play this game for the payoff,
Yep.
I find. So yeah, it just I hope they just Bohemia knows what they have or the potential, because like DayZ is like it's exploded. It seems like they're just getting so much stuff out of it. I don't know much about the other games or whatnot, but
No, I
yeah,
know. They have a couple other games like Arma and well, actually, I think it's
Wylands.
Arma. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there's Wylands, and DayZ actually came out with a mobile version
Hmm.
last this past year, I think. Um, but yeah, they don't have a big catalog, but
No,
it would be nice if um, yeah, they kind of recognize Vigor. So
that Vigor could be bigger if
yeah,
they would just invest a little bit more into it. Yeah,
yeah, yes.
even a lot more
And
into it.
my next item is going to tie into this, and Doc, you kind of mentioned it before. I'm not gonna lie, PC port.
That's a tough one. I get it. Like, there's so many people who would love to have it on PC.
Yeah,
Um, it's just then they would really need to have resources behind it,
yeah,
just
and
because then you're looking at you got to worry about. We think it's bad now with
anti
people
cheat. Yeah.
hacking.
Well, they're talking about
On
like all the add-ons to the controllers and all that stuff, but
Yeah, add-ons that do like recoil compensation, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that people can just sort of laser in. So there's that you have to worry about on console, but
yeah,
then on PC, and you see it
yeah,
in Tarkov. And I don't, I have been watching Tarkov in quite some time,
yeah,
but when I did watch Tarkov, it was a big issue.
yeah,
Hacking was a huge issue, and there's
yeah,
all these different hacks you could buy that would make it so that you could see across the map, or like obstacles, you could see through obstacles, all that kind of weird stuff that would happen.
yeah,
And so Tarkov, they were actively working on trying to
yeah,
combat that. That's a
yeah,
lot of resources, a lot of money that
yes,
they have to spend on it.
yes, yeah. The
So
the reason why I say PC port is uh, Vigor needs to continue to grow the player base. We've obviously went from like Xbox only to Switch, and then from Switch to PlayStation. So now there's no other console to go to. Like I,
true.
unless you want to like revive like Google Stadia or whatnot.
Or go
But
mobile. Well, yeah, or go
or go
mobile,
mobile, yeah.
or yeah.
But
Um,
like that's the thing is, um, that's the next player base.
yeah,
And like I'll say it before, I remember when people kept asking like, "Are you guys going to PlayStation? Are you guys going to Switch? Are you going like whatever?" And the answer was no, no, no. And boom, Switch announcement.
right.
And then after that, Switch launched, and they're like, "Nope, we have no plans to go to any other console or like PC." And then 6 months later, boom, PlayStation announcement. And like I said this, I've told this to a bunch of people on stream, off stream, is it was 6 months, and I said, you know what, watch this. Within 6 to 8 months, they're going to announce PC port. But then we had the dev team kind of like revamp.
That's true.
And then I was like, it's not going to happen, not anytime soon. And part of the reason why I still think PC is going to be an option, because, like I said, they need to grow the player base, and generate more revenue. And I think this is probably the best way. Like, is it going to, like you said, is going to take a huge investment.
Yeah.
I don't want PC crossplay. I'll be on record. I do not want to play against anyone on PC. I played against people like playing Apex like on PC. Like, I didn't find it that bad, but just like this type of game, I would not want to be against anyone on PC. But there is a market on PC. I'm telling you right now, because Tarkov, there's a lot of people, and I'll bring up this famous person on, I'm not going to name him, but on Twitter, every tweet, Vigor writes, someone says PC when, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
The one time someone actually posted him the question, why do you keep doing this? Because Vigor themselves have always replied, we do not have, like, they must have it copy pasted somewhere.
They probably do.
Because it's always the same answer. Well, it's pretty much the same answer every time. We have no plans currently to go to PC. But this one time, someone actually asked, why do you want this? And he said, he actually gave a legit answer. Essentially, Tarkov is too intricate. It's too realistic. It's too hardcore. And there's nothing else like it on PC. And now there's the Cycle Frontier that's kind of in alpha or beta. I forget which one. It's supposed to be not as hardcore as Tarkov. I haven't really watched a ton of streams of it, but like it's another one of that genre where it's like survival. You got to loot and whatnot. So like there is a demand for like that type of game mode, but that's not as hardcore.
Right.
So that's why, like, I'm saying PC port. But again, like, I know limited resources, time, money, and that's why the previous item on the wish list was that.
Yeah. And I guess it depends on how they did it too, because if you look at DayZ, it has a PC. But one of the features of DayZ, and this is more of a PC thing, is the ability to mod it, right? Like, if you look at the PC side, there's so many different ways that they can mod the servers for it, and they get wiped out every once in a while. They do a big update, and then the servers get wiped, and you have to start from scratch again. But it's a thing, and it can be modded. You can do, play it all these different ways. You can play it straight, or you can play it, modded. If they had, and I don't know if that helps with cheating. I have no clue. But maybe it makes it so that it's less desirable to cheat, because it's DayZ, so it's like what it's not the same as Tarkov or Vigor, where you're trying to get on leaderboards, right? The kill leaderboards or whatever it is. I think the fact that there are leaderboards drives people to play certain ways. So maybe if they do port it to PC, having it, I don't know if I'm just saying having it so that they can mod it, but I don't want it modded. But maybe that's for the PC players.
It would even PC, it shouldn't be modded. Like, you can't mod Tarkov, right? But speaking
Not
of the
legally,
modded, someone mentioned to me that DayZ really blew up once they actually opened it up and allowed for mods too, right? So that, like, that's
DayZ sort of went into the whole Rust and that kind of thing, because Rust is also another one of those ones where it's like a survival kind of game, with modding available, right? So it's in that sort of category, which is again different from the survival shooters that Vigor and Tarkov are. So Yeah, the big thing, like you said, if they ever did do PC, just don't make a crossplay with the consoles, even though people will want it. Or
Yep.
if they do make it so you have the option.
To
I
opt
don't
out.
want to play against PC players.
Yeah.
So
It makes it a little complicated with the leaderboards and stuff like that, but yeah,
yeah,
I agree. But
yeah.
yeah. The last thing on my wish list, I don't, who knows if this has actually happened, but I would love a dev team interview or a dev team member to interview.
That would be awesome.
Oh my God. I would probably like have to turn off my camera because I'd probably be grinning the whole time. But
So,
it's like
Yohani,
honestly, like
you're
it would
welcome.
be tough.
You're
Yeah. Hey, Vigor.
Hey.
My DMs are open.
Yeah.
Or pop into my stream. But it would be cool. It would be tough because the majority of the actual dev team is located in Czech,
Yeah.
in Borneo. So, they're technically 6 hours ahead of us. And we are currently like Saturday night. Like, this is a little late for us. It is like basically midnight for me.
Yeah, 10 for
So,
me. Yeah.
so it would be 6 a.m. their time. But typically we record like 2 hours earlier. So even at that, we're like 4 5 a.m. their time when we record.
I'm
So
sure we could bend it so that we're recording like
oh yeah,
in the morning for
yeah.
us, like a
I
Saturday
would take
morning.
the week off
Yeah.
work if I had to leave my whole calendar open
Yeah.
to get an interview. But hopefully my work does not listen to my podcast. I would love them to like support, subscribe, share, like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah.
But don't listen to this episode or what I just said in the last like 2-3 minutes.
Just hit the beep
But
button.
yeah,
Bleep.
I would love that. And speaking of oh my God, speaking of like Vigor of the Game, I'm not gonna lie, I got a huge smile on my face because the last podcast when we tweeted it out, they actually said thank you for making this or making these, and I was just like giggling like a schoolgirl.
That's it.
I
Yay.
was like,
Recognition. It's awesome.
yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think I was having a bad day or bad week at work and some other stuff going on, and I saw that. I was just like, like breath of fresh air. I was like, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. And then
This is awesome. Yeah.
yeah, this is awesome. But yeah, anytime I see like a like or share or tweet or something like that, it's like,
Yeah, it means a
so
lot.
dope.
We appreciate it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From anyone,
And
not
oh yeah,
just Vigor
not just
themselves.
bigger. Like anytime you guys comment and like it, it means a lot. We know we're not huge, but we enjoy doing this, and we hope that people get something out of it. And if new people come along and they start listening and watching and they enjoy it, that's even more, right? Because we're putting this content out there, not just for ourselves, but also to help new players. Because really, there is no in-game, like, there's that little Ava. She's helping you out a little bit at the beginning, but not much.
Is she?
So
Wait, you didn't listen to the lore. You don't know, Doc.
no, I haven't listened to all the
Is she
lore, so I
good?
have no
I
clue
don't
what's
know.
going on yet. Is she good? Is she bad? I don't know. I'm not going to listen to it until I get the last tape. Then I'm going to listen to them
Yeah.
all again. So because I'm close, I'm only need like I think 2 more. I think there's 2 more tapes in the free tier, because I think there's that one tape which is just campfire songs. So
Yeah.
or a campfire thing. But anyways, yeah, that's the wish list. It's all, thank you, DJ, for putting together a wish list. I could not think of
Oh,
anything new that I really
it's
wanted,
all
so
good.
it's awesome that you came up with a bunch of stuff. I
All
appreciate it.
good. Yeah, you know what, Doc? I love thinking, talking Vigor, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
I was just like, and that was like last podcast, right? I was like, what are we going to do? And I was just thinking, wait, it's like New Year's. I'm like, of course, this is what like I had fun doing it last year. It's like I don't
Yeah.
care if we miss on every single thing, but it would be so cool to like do this again. Honestly, let's call this our second annual like wish list or something like that.
Yeah.
So stay tuned next year for
Next year.
our third annual.
We'll see what happens in this coming year, and then
Yeah.
we'll talk about it next year. It'd be awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, this is a great place for us to stop.
Yep.
That was fun.
I need to go to bed.
And Yeah, you need to go to bed. I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
night
yeah.
owl, so I tend to stay up a little late. But yeah, I'll get the episode edited. Get the editing started here so we can get it out on time.
Woot, woot.
Yeah, but thanks again for listening. Happy New Year to
Yeah.
everybody. It's a whole new
Yes, Happy
year,
New Year.
so let's go 2022. Let's improve upon what we've had in the past because it's not hard.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just the year in general, not the game. The game was awesome.
Yes. Yes.
But again, I'm Dr. Anton.
And I'm Sleepy DJ Spencer.
Sleepy DJ Spencer. Share, subscribe. We appreciate it. Throw us some comments. But until next time, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Have a great year. And we'll see you next time. Stay safe
Happy
in
New
the
Year.
Outlands. Bye.
Lost your way again. You don't see your reflection. Just look around and find at least something good. All you need will come to you. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want, so just get home. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your dream. It's time to leave the place where you are forced to fade away. You barely breathe, heart is breaking in the chest. I'll make you feel that it's not real. Your thoughts because of which you barely live. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want, so just get a hold. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your